Well, good morning. Hoping you're staying warm and safe. So let's see how we can do this problem. So let's translate the problem first. The osmotic pressure exerted by a solution is equal to the molarity multiplied by the absolute temperature and the gas constant. So let's do that again. The osmotic pressure, so we're gonna say, we're gonna call that OP, osmotic pressure, is equal to the molarity. We're gonna say the C for molarity multiplied by the absolute temperature multiplied by the absolute temperature and the gas constant R. So we just basically writing an equation based on those symbols. Suppose the osmotic pressure of a certain solution is 24 AM. So the osmotic pressure is going to be 24 atm. And if you look down here, it's asking for us to write down the symbol that we're using for that. So the answer here would be OP. That's what I decide to use for that. So 24 atmospheres is going to equals C. So back to the problem. So suppose the osmotic pressure of a certain solution is 24 atmospheres and the absolute temperature is 368. So we still don't know what C is, but we know that the temperature is 368 K, right? So 368 K, we told the program that we're using T. So that's what goes there. Multiply by R. So what is the question? The question is, write an equation that will let you calculate the molarity of C. So it's asking us to calculate C, or an equation that will allow us to do that. Basically, it's asking us to solve for C or to leave C alone. Your equation should only contain symbols. So that's what we have. We have C, R's, and the value that was given to us. Be sure you define a symbol or other than R. So we did that. We defined the symbols. 24 is OP and 368 is T. So it's telling us that the equation can only contain symbols. So we're not gonna use that one. We're gonna use this one, the one with only symbols. And it's asking us to solve for C. So we are solving for C. So that means that the T and the R have to go. That's how we cancel them. Whatever we do on one side, we do on the other side. So the answer to the question would be C equals OP divided by T over R. And that's how you will put that in there. You can also put it like this: OP TR. So we understand that those are multiplied. So that's how you will do that one. So let's do another one. So it's telling us that the specific heat of a pure substance can be found by dividing. So specific heat, we're gonna call that specific heat can be found by dividing the heat needed to change the temperature of a sample of a substance by the mass, by dividing the heat needed to change the temperature of a sample by the mass of a substance, by the mass of the sample, and by the change in temperature. So we're gonna take the heat needed, and they appear, they're using Q for the heat needed. So I'm gonna use Q, and it's telling me that it's found by taking that and dividing it by the mass and the change in temperature. And I usually tend to use the triangle to denote change in something, so change in temperature. So that's the formula that we can use that is only simple. The specific heat equals the heat needed divided by the mass of the sample and divided by the change in temperature. So to answer the first question, I wanna leave Q by itself. So I'm gonna have to get rid of the mass. So I'm gonna multiply by mass. I'm gonna multiply by change in temperature. Whatever I do on one side, I have to do on the other one. And that will give me Q equals mass multiplied by the change in temperature multiplied by a specific heat. To make sure that the program understands my variables, I have to tell the program that 2.29 J, that's gonna be my heat capacity. So I'm telling the program that I'm using SH for my heat capacity, that I'm using M for my mass, and that I'm using delta T for my change in temperature. So that will be your answer. Your first one is gonna be Q isolated. Your second one is gonna be whatever symbol you decide to use for the specific heat. The same with the mass, the same with the change in temperature. So that's how you approach these problems. Hope that helps. Let me know.